Hey there, Watchmen and DC fans, this is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Mattel Collector Club Black Freighter exclusive Dr. Manhattan action figure. This is the second one to come out in the Watchmen Club from Mattel Collector, and it is only available on that site. So, as you can see, it's the same kind of slipcase design they use with the Motuck, like, you know, they do like the white mailers, except, you know, just like Rorschach, this one is designed to be displayed in this way. On the side, we've got more of the brick wall, and interestingly enough, it does not match up with the Rorschach one, meaning only that they don't match up consecutively. Like, Rorschach would be over here, and this one would be, like, further down here. So it's neat that they didn't actually go, like, right in order, so it'll take a while to get the size just right. But you can see the Doom Clock here, DC Comics down here on the bottom, Gears over here, which kind of fits with Osterman, the character who becomes Doc Manhattan, you know, being a watchmaker. Just a shot of that again on the back, and nothing really major on the bottom. And inside, they do the exact same thing that they did for Rorschach, which is they created a book-like design where they've got the cover with the smiley and the drop of blood, Watchmen over here to the side, Doc Manhattan on the bottom, the drawing over here, like a very stylized look at Dr. Manhattan on the back, the ME for Watchmen. So they went really far with this packaging. The interior, as you can see the pages, interior is just like Rorschach's, where the figure goes here. They've got the card with the art over here, and there's a bio on the other side, but I'm not taking these cards out because they are taped in place, and I don't want to lose them. And then the stand down here in the bottom. Now this is the only accessory we get with the figure, and I will go ahead and show it off now because I'm not planning really on using him in the display, but you can see it says Watchmen, just a flat base with a peg, and the bottom is, you know, concave. So yeah, not much to that. Let's take a look at the action figure, see what he's like. So here's Doc Manhattan out of packaging. I've got him in just basically a sort of still standing powered up pose. Doc Manhattan is not a very active character, but he is very imposing. So now as far as the actual details on this figure, we're pretty light. Manhattan doesn't have a whole lot of things going on with his look. I mean, he's mostly just a naked dude who occasionally wears pants and just looks Doc Manhattan-y. I mean, he's very powerful, so he always has this look of power. Now, on the face itself, they've got kind of some details up in the eyebrows, like he's raised a little bit, but he still looks, I think because of the shape of the eyebrows more than anything, he looks a little bit angry to me. And I would have liked him to have a little bit more of a neutral face. There were very few times in the story when he actually showed any kind of real emotion, because he's just not like that anymore. He's kind of beyond us. He exists across all planes of time, so he doesn't really see things the same way we do. So it almost would have been interesting, since he doesn't have any accessories, to give him swappable heads, maybe, because at one point I think he smiles near the end of the story, and then maybe a head like this and then a much more neutral head would have been pretty cool. But you can see up here he's got his little symbol, and I think it was hydrogen that he did, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'll have to, well, actually I don't have my comic here to check, but yeah, his little symbol up there on his forehead, very cool. The dark around his eyes I think may be a little bit overdone, but it's not awful. They did do some like blue eyeshadow above, which kind of makes his eyes sort of stand out and glow, which I think is kind of neat. They painted his upper lip, I guess just to give it a little more definition, because the plastic is so bright, but you know, it looks pretty good paint-wise. As far as I can tell, there's no real paint detail on the body, which in itself isn't all that bad, depending on how you subscribe. I mean, in the book, it doesn't necessarily look like he glows all the time, but he is a bright blue, whereas in the movie he does like actually glow. So yeah, if he glows, he wouldn't really have much shadow on him, but I think it would have been okay to put a little bit in there, but I can't really see any. If anyone else has it and can see it, then maybe I'm just colorblind, I've been told. Now, we do have a little bit different color plastics in here, and it may be very difficult to pick up on camera, but like his arms here and his lower legs from down here, these are all like a darker almost purplish a little bit, and like you wouldn't notice if he was standing back on the shelf or anything like that, but when he's here by himself, you can kind of see it, so not a huge deal. But now the only paint he's really got on him, he's got a little flake on his butt, is his black underwear, which he did wear from time to time, and it's pretty clean. There's not much going on. I mean, it's a little faded right there, you know, on the edges, but it's not too bad. He does have actual feet, which I'm not positive because I haven't been collecting DCUC for a while, but I want to say that those are actually new pieces there. But yeah, very nicely done. Pretty cool. Individual toes and toenails. Peg holes in the bottom of the feet. Very nice. And he also has what I think are new hands. Again, I'm not positive, but I was trying to think of other characters who have hands like this, and I think, you know, with the whole, like, powered hands, or sort of, like, mystical-looking hands, I'm pretty sure all of them have gloves, so these may be new hands. Unfortunately, they don't fit the arm very well. As you can see, there's kind of a big puff out, and then a straight-up edge, and then the hand begins. When I saw pictures of this, I actually thought his hand was going to be hinged because they're so, you can see there's like that big lip. So it looks kind of, I don't know, kind of poopy. But not the worst thing in the world. As far as articulation, he does have the standard DCUC thing going on. He's got a ball-jointed head, which only goes, like if this is his midpoint, he only goes up just a little bit, but he does go down pretty decently. Not much in the way of wiggle, unfortunately. Very similar to Rorschach in how limited his head is. But he does swivel all the way around, though it is a very tight joint. We got swivel hinges in the shoulders, and they go out to about there. Of course, you can always fudge it and twist the arm around if you needed to go higher. It won't look pretty, but it'll get the job done. Swivels in the biceps. Hinged elbows get about 90 degrees. Something just fell. Swivels in the wrists. We've got an ab crunch. So that's his midpoint. He goes forward about that far and back about that far. Ab crunches always seem to work better going back. I guess they always leave a lot more clearance back there. But swivel in the waist. You've heard me talk about DCUC hips before. These are them, H-style. So they go forward and very far back. Still a little blocked by the butt, but not too bad. Not as bad as a lot of figures. And they hinge out to the sides very far. The only problem is it leaves this big gap in the middle, which I didn't used to hate, but I've grown to hate over the years. It seems like they could do that better now, like the way they do their WWE figures. But swivels in the thighs all the way around. Hinge knees get 90 degrees. Very nice. And then our ankles, there's no tilt. Unfortunately, DCUC got rid of the tilt a long time ago. I guess it was too expensive to have that extra bit of awesome. But they'll go back about that far and forward about that far. So pretty good range in the feet, too. So if you want to do, you know, one of his famous, the big, you know, Vietnam walking pose, you can sort of achieve that if you, you know, mess with his balance a little bit. So that's pretty cool. So these figures, if I remember right, are costing about $25 a piece. I don't remember. I'll have to check that again because I don't have my receipt out with me. But for that, really all you get is this guy and the stand, which is not a lot. I mean, you get a really cool package. You know, don't get me wrong, the packaging is awesome. But I don't normally keep the package. I'm only keeping the package with these guys because it is so cool. But $25 is a lot for just a single figure. The only thing that makes it worth it really is the uniqueness, the rareness of the character. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot of Doc Manhattan figures over the years. So for me, I would say it's still worth it. I'm guessing that probably pre-orders... Oh, look, his back is actually the Superman back. Superman blue and red. See, because you can see the bit of filling in there on the back. Anyway, but I'm guessing pre-orders are probably going to be closer to like 40 to 50 bucks, and they may have already gotten their stock in. I imagine they would have by now, but 40 bucks is a lot of money for this guy. I mean, you got to remember that these things had been at retail previously for like 10, 11 bucks, and then not this line particularly, but DCUC. So jumping up $30 for the figure, that's on you. If you want to get this figure because he is your, you know, big favorite character of yours, then of course you're going to pay what you're going to pay. But I would say not more than 30 as far as value goes, because it is just a figure with no accessories. I mean, they didn't give you any kind of like glowy hand thing, you know, like a power effects part or swappable heads. I really think swappable heads would have been cool, or swappable hands would have been really cool. Yeah, or even just a flight stand, just something so he could, you know, kind of do let his feet hang. That would be really cool, but none of that was included. So definitely not the same value that Rorschach was. Not that he was a great value, but he's definitely better than this guy. Yeah, not much more to say about him. He's a pretty standard DCUC figure. Not a whole lot of paint, but solid enough for what he's supposed to be. Could use a better head, since it is his most unique piece, but, you know, they did what they did. It's Mattel. So, thank you guys for watching. We are over 500 subscribers now, which is very exciting. Thank you guys so much. I'm very happy about that. My wife and I have been talking about maybe trying to do some kind of contest for that. Probably more details on that coming up. So yeah, thank you guys. I'm going to have more details soon, but there is supposed to be a live web stream this weekend with Logan from Darth Joker Fett. And yeah, I got to work out all the details, but I will get back to you guys on that and once I got everything figured out. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you later. Bye.